Hey guys, I'm Tony Madiaco. I'm going to be presenting on Sufi, or as it is better known, Sufism. Okay, so what is it? It's Sufi in Arabic means mystic, and then the word Suf means wool. This kind of shows an outward rejection of worldly materials, which is a lot of what Sufism focuses on. So it's a mystical expression of the Islamic faith. There's two really important dimensions that I'll talk about in later slides that will help to understand its nature and history. There was an author, William C. Chittick, who wrote a book about Sufism, who helps explain that it is a name without a reality, but it used to be a reality without a name. Basically, what he's saying is us in the West, we might understand that Sufism has a name, but we don't actually know what it is. We just think it might be part of Islam. And then those who practice it, they don't really give it a name. It's just something that they practice. So here are some broad definitions of Islamic scholars who practice Sufism. It consists of noble behavior that is made manifest at a noble time on part of a noble person in the presence of a noble people. Wow, that was a mouthful. Abandoning oneself to God in accordance with what God wills. This one, to me, sounds a lot like what Islam is, the will of Allah. And then the last definition, Sufism, is that you should not possess anything, nor should anything possess you. To me, this just kind of sounds like something, that Jesus Christ would say. So some characteristics of Islam: to seek, to know, to love. Ones that I really like are to forsake all others for, to do the work of, and then to lose yourself in. To me, this just speaks true of what Islam actually is, and this is what Sufism is trying to do. They're trying to bring back what Islam was created for. It's basically serving as an orthodox approach to Islam and spread a form of Puritan Islam. Sufism has been around for a very long time, basically since the beginning of Islam. So those two dimensions that I talked about in the earlier slides, the first one is intellectual. This is going to be, the Sufi teachings, philosophies, poems, art, dancing, etc. And then also the aesthetics. This is going to lead into the second one, which focuses on the organizational dimension. Sufism popped up, I think, like a few hundred years after Islam was created, and they create these orders. They have these fraternities. During this 13th century, this was the golden age of Islam, thanks to the Sufis, who brought back what was really important about Islam and just tried to bring the foundations of it. They brought this through dance, poem, art, all that. And then the 16th century saw a huge spread of Sufism to Sunni and Shia Islam, which is really cool because it's almost like a uniting force of Islam through the different sects. One of the most well-known orders is the Mevlevi order. This is in Turkey. They do this dance called the Whirling Dervishes, and it's basically like physically active meditation. I recommend you guys look it up after this presentation. It's really cool. So the societies and organizations, they follow a path, a tariqa, through their brotherhoods and orders. The wali is the one who leads the fraternities, and they can trace their roots back to Muhammad. So like I said, they're going to focus on early practices of Islamic mysticism, which is really just the foundations of Muhammad, and then how Islam started. They strive for perfection of worship. This is called Ishan. It's not a branch or sect of Islam, but more of a philosophy of Islam that's focused on a direct connection to God by foregoing the material world. This is what is so cool about Sufism. It's a practice to try and bring back what really matters about Islam. And something interesting is that it's most widely practiced in sub-Saharan Africa, but in general, everyone that's Muslim can practice it. All parts of Asia, like anywhere, Africa, anywhere where you can find Islam, they're most likely practicing it there. Like I said earlier, the name is not as well known, or the name is more well known than the practice itself. And I've found that it contains a lot of similarities to what we've studied in other Asian religions. such as Hinduism or Buddhism. I know that India really embraces it because they view it as non-threatening, as kind of like not a radical version of Islam. And India really feels like this could help to bring out the true Islam. A similarity that I found to our church is that it demonstrates the pureness of practice, and it's extremely important to follow the earliest foundations of Islam, and that's something that we strive for in our religion. We want to bring back what was lost, kind of like through the restoration. So yeah, that's my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for going over.